Sarah and Lucy have been friends since they were 4 years old. They do everything together. They met at nursery school. On a day trip to the local swimming pool, Sarah had been frightened to play in the water with the other children. Lucy noticed and walked over to Sarah. She encouraged her to join in. Sarah was scared at first. After a few minutes, she realised that she loved to be in the water. Nowadays, Sarah is an excellent swimmer and loves swimming in the sea. She is very thankful to Lucy because without her support, she would not have joined the other children in the water that day. Sarah and Lucy are now 18 years old. They are both preparing to go to university. Unfortunately, they will have to study at different universities at opposite ends of the country. Sarah has picked a course at Falmouth University, which is in the southwest county of Cornwall. Falmouth is a small town and has lots of lovely shops, cafes, and great waves to surf. Sarah decided to study at Falmouth because it is by the sea. She can go surfing and swimming whenever she wants. She feels happiest when she is in the water. For Sarah, being in the sea is her time to relax. Sometimes she doesn't swim or surf. She just sits on her surfboard and listens to the sounds of the ocean. Lucy has gained a place at a university in Edinburgh. She chose Edinburgh because it is a beautiful city and the people are very friendly and kind. Lucy also applied for a university which is closer to Falmouth. After some careful consideration, she decided that the course in Edinburgh is better for her because it covers topics which she really enjoys. Edinburgh also has a huge train station with lots of great connections back to their hometown. Sarah doesn't have to think about train connections because she has a car and can drive. Since she was 14, she has saved all her spending money from doing chores for her parents. She always knew that when she passed her driving test, she was going to buy a car. Sarah passed her driving test first time, and the next day she went with her parents to a car sales room and chose her first car. It is only a small car, but it is perfect for her. Having a car gives Sarah the freedom to go anywhere she wants. Sarah and Lucy often go for long drives in Sarah's car. They visit friends and drive to the seaside. The world is their oyster. Sarah and Lucy worked very hard at college and gained excellent A-level results. Now they are both working through the summer to earn money for when they move away to university. They need money for rent, food, and fun. Sarah works at a local supermarket and Lucy works at a cafe. In the evenings, when Sarah finishes her shift at the supermarket, she meets Lucy from work. Lucy always has leftover food from the cafe. Sometimes she has cakes and sausage rolls, and sometimes she has sandwiches and biscuits. Together they go to the park, watch the sunset with their friends, eat cake, and talk about how their lives are going to change very soon. The summer passes very quickly. The girls work 5 days a week and, on their days off, they see each other and meet with their other friends. They go to parties and concerts. Both Sarah and Lucy love live bands. They had the best summer together with their friends. Now it was coming to an end, and it was time to start a new chapter. September. September has arrived, and Lucy and Sarah are packing. They have lots of boxes and bags full of clothes and books. They are both excited, but also scared. They have never lived away from home before. They are going to have to do everything alone. They will need to do all their own laundry, cooking, and cleaning. Lucy and Sarah sometimes help their parents with chores, but that's once in a blue moon. As they pack their bags, they make a promise to stay in touch and speak as often as they can. Sarah is the first to move away. Her university course starts a week before Lucy's. She drives to university, and her parents follow her in their car. Sarah's parents help her unpack, and they take her for dinner in a local seafood restaurant. Sarah's parents are sad to leave her, but they know that she will have a great time. Living by the sea is what she has always wanted. It has been her dream since she was a little girl. Lucy calls Sarah to check that everything has gone okay with the move. They chat for an hour. Sarah is too nervous to go into the flat's shared kitchen. She is worried that she won't like the people she shares the flat with. "Well," says Lucy, "there's only one way to find out." Sarah says goodbye to Lucy and decides to be brave. She goes into the kitchen and takes some chocolates with her, which she bought earlier that day. In the kitchen, she meets her new flatmates, James and Katie. Sarah feels so relieved. James and Katie are very friendly, and they spend the next 3 hours chatting and getting to know each other. They decide that every week they will have a family meal in the flat, where they all take it in turns to cook something. Sarah realizes very quickly that she needs to practice her cooking skills. Back home, Lucy is getting ready to leave for university. She already misses Sarah, but she knows that she is about to start a new adventure. She can't wait to get to her new room, unpack her things, and go to the first student party. The next day, Lucy and her parents set off on the long drive to Scotland. She feels a little nervous, but as soon as she sees her new home, she feels calmer. On her way up the stairs to her flat, everyone greets her and says, "Hello." Everyone is so friendly. She already feels like she is at home. As soon as she enters her flat, one of her flatmates, Joel, greets her. He helps carry bags and boxes to her room and makes everyone a cup of tea. After 2 or 3 hours, Lucy's parents leave, and she is suddenly left alone in her room. Joel has gone out, and no one else seems to be around. Lucy tries to call Sarah, but she isn't answering her phone. She suddenly feels very lonely and sad. "Have I done the right thing?" she thinks. An hour later, when Lucy is about to go to sleep, she receives a text message from Sarah. It reads, "Sorry, only just seen this. I've been out with my flatmates. Call you tomorrow?" Lucy suddenly feels even more lonely. Her best friend is busy, and she doesn't want to speak to anyone else. Lucy decides to try and sleep. Tomorrow, she will go to university and get her student card. She also decides to go to the Freshers' Fair and sign up for some clubs. The next day. Lucy wakes up early. She has a quick shower and gets dressed. She checks in the kitchen, but no one is there, so she walks to university to get her student card and class timetable. On the way, she walks past a coffee shop and notices a sign which reads, "Looking for part-time staff." Lucy decides to go in and apply for the job. She has lots of experience working in cafes. It only takes Lucy 5 minutes to walk to university from the coffee shop. As soon as she gets there, she is greeted by a friendly receptionist who tells her where to go. She walks around the university and finally finds the office for new students. She walks in and has her photograph taken for her student card. It only takes a few minutes, and then she decides to go to the Freshers' Fair. She signs up for 3 different activities: drama club, the university newspaper, and the netball team. Everyone she meets is so kind, and one girl, Amira, invites her to lunch with some of her friends. Lucy goes, and by the end of the day, she has a phone book full of new numbers and new friends. Things are looking up. Lucy feels much happier and less alone. A week later. The first week at university has gone by very fast. Sarah has been busy checking out the local surf spots. Lucy has been busy meeting new people and starting her lectures. They both realise that a week has passed and they had not spoken to each other very much. They hadn't forgotten each other. They had just been very busy. Lucy decides to send Sarah a text message. She asks when she will be free to catch up. Sarah replies a few hours later. She is always so busy with cleaning, cooking, and meeting new friends that she never has the time to check her phone. Sarah and Lucy arrange to have a chat over Zoom at 8 p.m. They can't wait to see and talk to each other. At 8 p.m, Sarah and Lucy finally log on to their laptops. They speak for hours about their first week at university, their new friends, their courses, and what it is like being away from home. Sarah talks about her first swim in the sea, and Lucy tells Sarah about her new friends and her job at the coffee shop. They both feel sad that they don't seem to have enough time to talk to each other, so they decide to make a pact. Sarah and Lucy decide to write to each other once a week, or whenever they can. They won't write over text or email. They will only write real letters and post them. It seems like an old-fashioned concept to them, but receiving a letter is more personal than a text or a quick telephone call. They decide that when they meet again at Christmas, they can read their letters to each other. Sure, some of them might be embarrassing, but they will also contain lovely memories for them both to cherish. They start their first letter as soon as they log off their laptops. They have so much to say. Sarah prints off photographs of her local beach, and Lucy includes her university timetable, so Sarah can always check what she is doing. They only make one rule. They can text each other 3 times a week. They really do miss each other, but they think it is important to try and integrate as much as possible into their new lives. October and November roll around. Lucy performs in her first university drama production, and Sarah meets someone that she likes more than a friend. They are both very busy with university assignments, part-time jobs, and social events. December arrives. The beginning of December is full of Christmas parties, Christmas shopping, and lots of university work. Finally, on December 18th, Sarah drives home to see her family. She's so excited to eat home-cooked food, see her parents, and of course, catch up with Lucy. The following day, Lucy takes the train from Edinburgh to her local station, where Sarah is there to surprise her and pick her up. When Lucy walks out of the train station and sees Sarah stood by her car, she screams. She's so happy to see her. They both give each other a big hug, and they don't stop talking on the car journey back to Lucy's house. Sarah stays at Lucy's house for dinner. It is so nice to be together again. They spend every day of the holiday together, just like the old days. On Christmas Day, Lucy goes to Sarah's house for dinner, and they decide to read the letters that they have written to each other over the last 3 months. They laugh, they cry, they cringe. So many lovely things have happened to them over the last 3 months, but they know they will always be the best of friends. We hope you enjoyed this lovely English story. Don't forget to answer the questions in the comments below to check your understanding. See you next time.